Hey everyone! Today I'm back with another Know How Friday video. Today I'm going to be die cutting and doing some masking for stamping. So I'm going to start with the Stitched Party banner die from Fawn, and I'm not going to use the banners, but I'm just going to use the little circle that's in there. And I'm going to die cut that out of a piece of Coordination's 110-pound cardstock. I'm just going to quickly run this through my Cuttlebug. And I'm going to be using the thicker cardstock just because I'm going to be coloring with my Copic markers right onto that die cut circle. So I have this stamp set from Fawn, and all of the supplies will be linked below if you are interested in any of them. So I'm going to start with the couple different stamps. So I'm going to do 3 onto this circle. I'm going to start with the little coffee cup. It's like the to-go ones that you get at like Starbucks or whatever. So I'm going to stamp that towards the right-hand side of my die cut. And then I'm going to stamp it again on this Post-it pad that I have. And these Post-it pads are really cool because the whole thing is sticky. So it's perfect for masking. So I'll go ahead and cut that out, and you can see I didn't cut all of it out just because I don't need that side of it. I only need to mask the left-hand side. So I'll go ahead and line that up with the one that I already stamped, and now I'm going to stamp the little donut right kind of over that, overlapping the coffee cup a little bit. And then I'm going to stamp the donut onto my masking paper, and then I'll cut that out just like I did with the coffee cup. And then I'll go ahead and line that up with my already stamped donut. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp the plate right below that. And somehow it got cut out of my video. My camera stopped recording at that time. But you can see there I just stamped the plate right on there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my little tweezers here to pick up the mask pieces. So you can see how they all overlap. They look like they're on top of each other, but it's all one layer. So it's kind of a fun technique to do. It takes a little bit of time to cut the masks out, but the end result is definitely worth it. So now I'm going to use my Copics to color these images in. I'm starting with the E11, and I am coloring in the donut, which are my favorite right now. I don't know why, but I just love donuts. I never have before, so it's kind of weird. Alright, then I'm going to use the E13, and I'm just going to kind of shade that in the right-hand side, and then where like the middle part of the donut is. And then my darkest color is the E15, and I'm just going to apply a little of that to right where I applied my middle color. Alright, and then I'll go back with the E13 and just kind of go over the E15 part, and then I'll go back with the E11 and blend all of those colors together. Alright, so now it's time to color in the plate. I'm using the E81. I think it's called Ivory, and it's kind of like a brownish gray color. I don't know, I just decided that that would look best for the plate, and then I'm also using it for the cup part. I think this is such a fun stamp set. I just love the little coffee images and stuff, even though I don't drink coffee, but a lot of my family does, so these cards will be perfect to give to them. Alright, so I'm going to color in like the sleeve of the coffee mug with the R29. I'll just color in the whole thing. And for some reason you can see on my mat, I was getting this ink everywhere. The red for some reason really likes to spread. So you just want to be careful when you're using that color just because it does like to bleed outside the lines too. And then I'm going to be using the R89 and just shading in the edges of that little coffee holder thing. I'm not really sure what they're called. Alright, and then I'm going to go back and blend it with that R29 once again. Alright, and then I decided for the cover that I was going to use the E11, but it looked a little bit too light when I was coloring it. So I decided to go over it once again with the E13 just to make it a little bit darker. And I really liked that better than, because I was going to leave it white, but I decided it blended in too much with the background, so I really liked doing the darker brown better, but it's whatever you want. And actually, after I got done coloring this, I thought it might actually look better just to color the plate and the cup gray. So just gotta kind of practice and play around with the colors a little bit. Alright, so moving on to my card base, I'm going to take this piece of white cardstock, and it's a little bit smaller. I believe I cut it at 3 inches by 5.5 inches, and I'm going to adhere that to the right side of my card base. And the reason I'm doing that and not just stamping on the card base is because I like to make it a little bit thicker, and then it kind of gives me a place so it looks nice, so I know where to stop stamping. You'll see in a minute here what part I'm stamping. I'm using the little coffee bean stamp and then hazel ink from Mama Elephant, and I'm just going to stamp these all over that one side, the white panel. So it kind of gives me a little guide as to where to stamp. Alright, so I finished stamping that whole background piece, and then I'm taking this really thin strip of black cardstock, and yes, my ATG gun was a little bit too big for it, so I just went ahead and wiped down the edges, as you can see, to get all that extra adhesive off, or you could use a liquid adhesive just to make it easier. So that's just going on the edge of that white piece that I already cut, just to hide the seam. Alright, so next I'm going to finish up my card. I decided I was going to add some May Arts Natural Twine to the front of that. So I needed to punch a little hole in the top so that I could put my string through it. So I just took this itty bitty circle punch and punched it at the top of the black cardstock piece, or a little bit over. And you just do it right on the seam of your card. And then I'll go ahead and thread my twine through there. And then I'm just going to leave enough on the end so that I can tie a bow on the front of my card. I really like this twine too because it's thin, so it's good for cards if you're going to mail them, just because there's not a lot of extra bulk with it. It keeps it pretty thin and definitely thin enough to go through the mail. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and tie my bow there, and then once I get it all even and pretty, I will trim the ends off that. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead with my circle and take some 3D foam squares. These are from Best Creation, and they are the large squares. And I'll just apply 3 of those to the back so that I can pop that circle up onto my card. It just gives it a little bit of dimension and more interest on your card. And I'm going to put that right below the bow. Next it's time for the sentiment. I'm going to stamp the For You, and it took me a minute to figure out where I was going to place this on my card. Ideally, I would have liked to place it in the all white section, but it was a little bit too small for my stamp. So I decided to just stamp it right over some of those coffee beans on that side. Alright, one final step is to round the corners with my 1/2 inch corner rounder from We Are Memory Keepers. And then that is my finished card for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel. And then check out the 3 videos that I have linked for you right here. I will see you in my next video. Bye!